Alright, hello. Gonna be running a plus 20 Theater of Pain. This is a pug that I just joined through the LFG tool. So I'm running as Frost with the Breath of Syndragosa legendary and build, and with Aermir as my talent setup. Affixes this week are Fortified, Spiteful, and Grievous. I'm gonna let him get aggro. He's double pulling here. Okay. Get a little bit of runic power. Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and pop everything. Breath, A-bomb, all that good stuff. And dragon at the end here. Boom. Since it's not tyrannical, I do want to blow cooldowns and get through this as fast as possible. Because this pack hurts on Fortified, and especially on Grievous. For some reason, I'm having some pretty terrible frame loss, so I apologize. Now we're going to go ahead and AMZ here. Our breath is now done. Luckily, this is a pretty nice dungeon for Spiteful because there's a low amount of mobs, low amount of Spitefuls that actually get spawned. Yeah, I'm having some weird stutters. Been out of town a couple days, so my first time playing in a couple days, so I apologize. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and I just IBF'd that stun because I don't. This is a pug. I don't know if I can trust people, so I'm not really worried about waiting. I am AMSing this. Want to focus. I don't know which. This group focuses down first. I like focusing down Decia though because it makes it easier on the tank, but it looks like they're focusing Spiteful, so I'm going to go ahead and swap. Anytime you can, you want to... Okay, nice, yeah, nice blocked. Okay, so the shield is on Spiteful. We're going to swap to Decia now. Anytime we can get kicks on... Yeah, he already did it. Anytime we can get kicks on whichever mob is furthest away, that helps stack them up so we can get as much cleave damage as possible. I missed my pot opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Nice benefit of Death Knight. There should be an opportunity from... Yep, there it is. It's on me. I was going to say, you can Death Grip every single time that there's a opportunity strikes and that rogue chick stuns. So it's really, really nice. You can always have Grip ready. So right now I'm in Breath. I'm focusing on just making sure that I keep an uptime on my breath as much as possible. Like there, just attacking whoever's closest because I don't want to be out of range. I don't want to lose on breath, which I did there with getting the grip, but it's okay. Got a pretty decent duration from it. We're gonna go ahead and interrupt when we can. He's not casting it. I'm just gonna use AMS so I can get in position to where I need to. You don't take damage when you're standing on stuff. I don't know if it depletes your shield or if it just completely negates the fact that you're standing in the fire, but in any case, it's helpful to use AMS there. So you can see there I just tab targeted, or you can manually click and grip what's her face at 0. Just stop the stun. So if there's some downtime here, I'm going to go ahead and reapply Fleshcraft. Not fantastic boss damage, but I did blow my cooldown, so my 2 minutes came up about halfway through the fight. Still doing best overall, so that's good. Here I'm not going to have breath up, so I'm going to go ahead and just use my Pillar of Frost. I could wait 30 seconds, but yeah. I'm just going to use Pillar of Frost right off the bat here. Nice thing about the breath build is Pillar of Frost, you don't really do anything different. You just kind of do your normal rotation. You just not overcap on runic power and try to use runes on Obliterate whenever you can. Just basic rotation, though, nothing really changes. So the basic rotation outside of Obliteration is try not to cap on runic power and spend your charges. So Killing Machine procs, you use Obliteration. Ryan procs, you use Howling Blast. You just kind of rotate through. A nice basic. Also, you keep up Remorseless Winter on off cooldown every time it's up. A nice way to kind of keep that going is just rotate between Frost Strike and Obliterate, and then use Rhyme procs anytime they're up with Howling Blast. That's a really easy way just to make sure that you're getting a pretty good rotation. So here, Breath is up. You want to use Breath of Cindergosa when you have at least 60 runic power and ideally 2 runes. And I'm using A-Bomb Limb as well since I'm running Aramir. Really, best time to use. I should have used my dragon there as well. That's my bad. I missed it. I'm not going to use it now though because I don't have the Pillar of Frost buff. Best time to use A-Bomb Limb is anytime there's an AoE pack. It's really not worth it for single target if you've got an AoE pack or ads or something coming up soon. Dragon, you pretty much exclusively want to use with the end of Pillar of Frost when you have the maximum stacks of the strength buff. It's kind of a waste to not do that, although if it's a really juicy AoE pack and you're not going to have a chance for a while, like you're going into a boss fight or something like that, then it's worth using it if you have a Fallen Crusader proc from your weapon, which looks like this, the purple swords. A nice trick that you can do with Soggodon is if you're wanting to be a little bit greedy, you can actually stay in his smash. If you use IBF, it severely reduces the cooldown and it doesn't hurt you that much. Even on Fortified, I haven't had problems with it, but it's kind of nice to save it for other things. In the middle of that fight there, I did use my Pillar of Frost. You want to use it pretty much on cooldown. Ideally at the start of a pack. If it pops up in the middle of a pack, I knew that I was going to get full duration before he died, so it's still worthwhile to use it. Here, unfortunately, I'm not going to have it at the beginning of this big pull. This is a fantastic dragon pull, so this is one that I'm actually considering using just a Fallen Crusader rock on. Although, I think I'm going to wait, and I'm just going to use dragon on this next pack, because it's still pretty big. I'm going to use A-Bomb here, though. Helps with the jumping around. He is pulling the next pack now, so that's good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and Blinding Sleet just to get some stuns. I didn't see if something was casting, but that's my bad. Alright, so now I'm in my breath window. Going to make sure I have Remorseless Winter going. Put my runic power high. I'm watching right here for the end of Pillar of Frost. I'm going to go ahead and use my dragon here before too much more stuff dies. I want to hit as many targets as I can, and if things die and I'm only hitting like 3 compared to maybe like the 5 or 6 that I would have by casting it then, it's worth it cutting it just a little bit early to get the more targets hit. Dragon scales really well with the target amount. And this is like the biggest pull opportunity. The rest of Theater of Pain is low pull sizes, so it's not super helpful. It's best on this pull. So there, I didn't have an interrupt for his meat shield. I don't know if I actually interrupted or not. I think it was interrupted before I actually did it, but I noticed that both my kick and my Blinding Sleet were on cooldown, and so I used my grip as a last minute interrupt. So you have 3 ways that you can actually interrupt, which is very nice. Okay, so here, I would like to just keep these tight in. Unfortunately, I don't have my A-Bomb limb up yet, but I'm just looking for the Withering Discharges. Okay, they've done a good job about kicking on. I'm going to go ahead and focus down this Butcher. So I have a Cold Heart proc. Ideally, you want to use your Cold Heart procs. It's just barely going to be out. I didn't have a rune. I should have done a better job of looking for that. But your Cold Heart stacks up and it deals a huge chunk of single target damage. The best times to use that are at the end of a Pillar of Frost window, or if you have a Rune of the Fallen Crusader proc, or whenever you can. If you're having to wait a long time before either of those situations come up, then it's worth it probably just to pop it. Okay, I'm making sure that I'm at least 60 on runic power. I'm going to go ahead and pop my Breath of Cindergosa now. You might have seen I got targeted by the Biting Cold circle. that is one of the best abilities to AMS. So if you push AMS before the circle effect actually starts channeling, you see right here it has a build up, now it's actually going on my teammate there, the mage. If you can cast AMS before it actually starts dealing the damage, then you can totally negate the effect. It's really helpful for your healer.
Claim its power as your own.
Okay, we're skipping here. Go ahead and cancel. That wasn't me. Oh. Oh, the hunter did that on purpose and did not communicate. He pulled it and the hunter pulled it back and feigned death, but he didn't communicate it. So now our shaman got aggro. That's funny. Should have typed that in advance, ideally, but that's okay. It happens. It's Pug. Looks like they're good now. Sweet. But Fleshcraft, why not? That is something to pay attention to when you skip as Frost. It's easy to forget. If you have your Raised Dead macroed with other stuff, you got to pay attention and make sure that you don't actually have your Ghoul up. Well, that'll pull, and it's easy to think, oh, you know, I'm Frost. I don't have a pet. I'm not a pet class. Yep, a lot of times you do. So here, it might have been better to use my dragon for the next pack, the little jumpy dudes, but the timing was good with my Pillar of Frost, and if I use it now, then I'll probably have it up again for the boss. So sometimes it's not really worthwhile to wait so that you can get more uses. Also, Grievous, Death Knight is fantastic for Grievous because you can just Death Strike, and a lot of times that'll take care of some stacks that the healer might be struggling to top you off with. I'm not using A-Bomb Limb here. I want to use it on the little jumpy dudes in this next pack. So right here, Death Strike, boom, I'm back up, topped off. Really helpful, especially if you don't know your healer, you don't know if you can really trust them. Just that little bit, like right here, I'm going to go ahead and Death Strike, topped off. Cuts your damage a little bit, but honestly, it cleans up the run and prevents wipes and stuff. So if you know, like, the healer's kind of struggling right now, I'm going to go ahead and do my next couple on Death Strikes to top off. Now, I haven't been Death Striking up to this point. I'm kind of just doing it right now to prove a point, but it is a very helpful thing that you can do as a Death Knight. Here I've got a Spiteful. I'm going to go ahead and Chains of Ice him. Spiteful week is pretty compelling to not run Cold Heart, maybe run something else. But, oh my gosh! But I'm going to go ahead and pop cooldowns here. It's Fortified. I care more about trash damage. It'll come up halfway through the next boss. This is a big pull. I've got A-Bomb going. It's a good pull for me to go ahead and use cooldowns. Yeah, it might be worthwhile to not... Oh, I've got aggro on him, don't I? It's worthwhile to not run Cold Heart, maybe. Just so that you can get the extra chains off on Spitefuls. But I don't know. I'm being lazy. I'm keeping my same spec, and I do kind of want to keep my single target damage high. Breath of Cindergosa does not have fantastic single target, and so Cold Heart does help with that. So here, I took some cleaves. I really wasn't probably supposed to, and so I was combating that with Death Striking to help the healer. And Chains is just such a good slow. Sucks that it uses runes, so unless there's a small mob count, it's difficult to get as many chains as you would like to off. But still great. So I believe it is still worth it to overcap on runic power if you're spending a Rhyme proc. So there, for example, I got a Rhyme proc, but I instead used my Rhyme proc instead of using my runic power. I think it's still worth it. Okay, so I missed my pillar window for the dragon. If I wasn't talking, I might have thought to do that. And at this point, he's about 50% health. I could use my next I could use my next pillar. Probably get one more pillar. I'm going to go ahead and Breath of Syndragosa once it's up. I could use my next pillar to do a dragon. By the way, there, Remorseless Winter, it's really nice if you can pair that with your cooldowns. And I know it lasts, it's got about 20-second recharge. I had about 17. Here, I'm just going to IBF. Oh, it's not up. Shoot. You can IBF that to totally negate the damage. But I did take it, so I'm going to go ahead and Fleshcraft here, and then I'm going to Death Strike until the bleed runs off. Or I'm good now. Okay. What I was going to say is it has about a 20-second cooldown. So I popped Remorseless Winter with about 17 seconds until my cooldowns were up. So I knew I was going to have it up for my cooldowns. Okay. Alright, and so something also subtle that I did there was it's helpful to... shoot. I missed my dragon opportunity. It's okay, the next pack is pretty big. I'm going to go ahead and A-bomb though, pull these guys in, try to help us finish strong. Sorry, a lot to talk about, and I was also trying to focus. Something that is very, very big for your damage is maintaining your Gathering Storm stacks. So when you use Remorseless Winter, there's this buff right here that's on my weak aura. I don't actually know what it's from. I think it's the Gathering Storm buff, or maybe it's something with Everfrost. Yeah, that's it. It's Everfrost. It deals increasing damage to enemies it hits, stacking up to 10 times. So the longer that Everfrost lasts, that buff lasts longer, it deals more damage. So if you can use a pillar window, which Gathering Storm, it extends the duration of Remorseless Winter. If you can extend it and then immediately use another Remorseless Winter to maintain those Everfrost stacks, then you keep that damage bonus going into your next window of Remorseless Winter. So it keeps your damage high. It doesn't have to ramp up. So that's a really big thing to maximize your damage. I'm going to go ahead and pillar here. Even if I overcap on Runic Power, I'm just going to try to get as many obliterates as possible here. Okay, I'm out now. I'm going to go ahead and dragon. So you want to stack up as many spins of... That was a bad way to phrase that. You want to spend as much Runic Power as you can during your Pillar of Frost, so that when you use your dragon, you have the biggest strength bonus that you possibly can. Best way to do that is to make sure you're rotating between Frost Strike and Obliteration. So Obliterate. So you'd Obliterate, maybe spend all your runes, and then, as long as you're not overcapping on Runic Power, and then alternate between. And then that way your Frost Strike has the chance to reduce the cooldown on your Obliterates, and you get more in. This is a great pack to A-bomb. Just get them in here around the corner. I am going to go ahead and Breath, because this is a pretty good pack to Breath, and I know that the next two pulls are just single targets, so my Breath is going to scale better here. And it's Fortified. They're going to last fairly long. Ring of Peace is wonderful. I still want to be in melee range of something to maintain stacks of my Breath of Frost. So I'm going to try to melee whatever's closest to me that's not one that's actually fixating me. Alright, Portal Guardian, this is one of the best mobs in this entire dungeon. Maybe even out of all dungeons to use your AMZ on, right here. If he pulls the Portal Guardian first like this, and then we do the Lieutenant, then we go down, it should be up again for the next Portal Guardian. So I definitely prefer routes that do the Portal Guardian first, because that makes it more likely that my AMZ is going to be up again. Even on Tyrannical weeks when packs die quickly, it helps ensure that things are going to be up by the time I need it. I'm going to go ahead and do this for this guy. A lot of times the tanks just grab it, because it actually, the orb thing doesn't reduce, it doesn't negate your ability to use abilities, so you can actually just be using his abilities right now. Okay, I did overlap with the tank there. We still have 2 interrupts, so we should be fine as long as they have a pulse paying attention. Yeah, Shaman just said next. Cool, so I'll alternate. I'm going to go ahead and aim S this. My stacks are getting kind of high on Grievous, so as soon as I can Death Strike, I'm going to. There you go, and that combined with the healer's heal just helped me get topped off, so making life that much easier for the healer. I'm gonna do Champion's Brand. Not worth popping cooldowns on this pack. One tiny little pack. Just make sure you get interrupts on Bone Spear. Chains of Ice, the Spiteful, we do need to kill it before we go down, so... I want to make sure that I have a good amount of runic power going down, because I'm immediately going to pop my Breath of Sindragosa. It's nice in Mythic Plus like this. If you can come into the next pull with at least 60 runic power, then you can just immediately pop Breath and get more of an uptime. Because sometimes packs die, especially on Tyrannical weeks. Sometimes packs die before you can actually get the full usage of your cooldowns. Okay, I have aggro on something here. I'm going to go ahead and IBF, because I do not like that. I was a little late on that AMZ, so it's not going to get as much use as it could have. But even if I had aggro on that Spiteful there, I honestly probably would have just swapped to him and maybe, like, I don't know, tried to gain a little bit of distance. Okay, something's killing me here. Oh, the healer died. Okay, so I got 2 B-reses off. Should be enough to finish it. I don't... did the healer die earlier and I just was talking and didn't pay attention? That might have been what happened. I would have cast 2 Battle Reses back to back, but I ran out of runic power, so I had to get an obliteration in between there. I don't know if the healer just died and that's why we died. Honestly, I missed it, so hopefully they don't wipe here. It looks like they did not. Yeah, he's rezzing him, so that's good. The 2 battle reses were clutch there, though, because otherwise it would have just been 1 DPS and the tank. Necker buff is running off, so we should still get a little bit of usage from it out of the next pack, but just about gone. So when I'm tanking this, I like to put these 2 dudes right next to each other. If you stack them vertically like this, it's difficult for a lot of pugs to see which one the tornado is coming from. Because if they're stacked, I mean, that might be... It just makes it more difficult, so it's definitely much better when they're side by side like this. Pretty low damage on this pack, that's okay. Not really popping cooldowns. I am going to pop my dragon on the next pack. Get distracted like that, Death's Advance is great. Because even if you get hit by a tornado, if things get hairy, even if you get hit by a tornado, you won't get knocked off. So Death's Advance is a nice get out of jail free card. So if things are rough, you're distracted, you're worried, your attention is lapsing, just Death's Advance. I think she's alright. Text if something's... I'm going to go ahead and I probably should not have used Breath there, because now I'm not going to have it for the boss, but I'll still get another usage from it halfway through the boss. Use Pillar to get my dragon. I got aggro on something here. I think it was the Death Speaker. The healer, did he get knocked off? No, he's just straight up dead. Jeez, man. Okay, they're killing the Spitefuls. We already have to wait on the Shaman. As soon as they click on the I don't know what killed the shaman, by the way. Boy, look at my damage there. What the heck? They'll click on the orb. That should allow us to get there about the same time that we would have. Wait 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. So maybe not the best cooldown usage there, I was a little distracted, but something that's really nice. Oh boy, I'm gonna have the overlap right there. When you get the parasite and the draw soul, that will kill you. That'll just straight up kill you. That's really dangerous. So here, what I was going to say is you can AMS to prevent the draw soul. It's really, really nice. So you totally negate that. Really, really handy. Keeps your uptime on the boss high. So I had to IBF there, and our other mage died because when you have this draw soul and the parasite, and we were stacked on top of each other. I don't know if that actually does something, but that all hurts a lot. So here I'm gonna help out the healer. Not only am I gonna death strike, I'm actually gonna also pop my Lichborn because for the passive leech. Asshole again, man. Probably could have Fleshcraft. I forgot I'm not running Marileth. The Marileth prevents CC. I don't know if you can use that to actually skip the draw soul or not, but you can use it to whatever. Sorry, distracted. Alright, pretty decent boss damage there, not great. But it's not going to beat a Beastmaster. Looks like the hunter's wanting to double pull this. That can be good. These next two packs, it's pretty nice to pair those up. Neither of them are super scary, and you can avoid most of their damage. That big amount of strikes, I don't remember what the name of that combo is, but the one that they do on the tank, that's about the scariest thing that you see. The rest of it's not that bad. So I am going to go ahead and... I'm going to go ahead and cool down here. And then I'll have at least a Pillar Dragon. Maybe not a full breath. But if I pop all my cooldowns here, breath and all that, then at very least I'll have breath up again for the boss. So I did A-Bomb as well. So there, my Remorseless Winter just ran out, and I'm already able to reapply it to keep max stacks. So that's awesome. Making that a priority to keep my Everfrost stacks up. Might even be able to get a third one. Yeah, look at this. So I'm going to spam Remorseless Winter, and I was able to keep it up for three whole casts. So I've had it up now non-stop since the pull started, so that's huge. Unfortunately, I did not have enough runes to keep it going again, so it is going to run out now. But 3 casts, that's huge. My Remorseless Winter damage is my second highest right now. It's 16% of my damage on this pull just on a 2-target pack, and that scales up higher with more targets. So that's a pretty big priority to keep it rolling. It's also pretty low effort to keep it going. It's just 1 cast lasts for like, well, the length depends on how many runes you cast, so I can't really say how long it lasts, but... Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pillar. Keeping up my Remorseless Winter. I'm gonna watch frantically for when pillar actually ends. And we're gonna go ahead and dragon now. You could tame the captain. I've kind of stopped caring to do that. Sometimes it creates more problems than it's actually worth, so not gonna worry about that. I do have a bomb again. I'm surprised. This Fortified just lasts a long time, so I'm gonna go ahead and a bomb because this pack is pretty good for that. The Arbalists jump around. You can, if you're careful, you can actually outrange the Spitefuls. With the Chains of Ice, they're moving so slow that you can actually have a longer melee range than they do. So you can actually use that and kind of play it like the spiked balls off of Painsmith. You can actually use that to try to melee them down. Oh no, I'm gonna die. Ooh, I was not paying attention there. I did go ahead and use cooldowns on this. I would rather take the approach of accidentally using my cooldowns too much and not having them up for the next boss or something like that than just hold on to them and never actually use it. You know? Because a lot of times you'd be surprised. Like, for example, I use my cooldowns here, and I might, you know, if I was overly careful, I might not have even used a pillar and just say, you know what, this is gonna be dead too fast, I'm gonna need my cooldowns up for the boss. But pillar's only a 1-minute cooldown. Right now it's up in 10 seconds. It's definitely gonna be up for the boss. And starting the boss with a pillar and then getting a breath later, maybe after the duel or something like that, that's great. So really with Frost, I'm finding that even though you have a 2-minute cooldown with breath, it's a lot of times just better to not really worry about it and just pop it, you know? I'm gonna go ahead and pop cooldowns here. I'm gonna A-bomb because the banner should be coming out right now and I can get some good cleave damage. And there's really nothing else to cleave in this fight, so... Nice, so I wasn't the one that was called down, so I should be able... I don't know if breath is going to be up in time for me to get the most benefit out of it. So I might, honestly, I'm going to hold cooldowns until the next time he throws somebody down. Might not be a great idea, but... Because at this point I still have to wait another 8 seconds. I don't think it's going to be ready in time. Yeah, he's going to throw somebody down. I think it's after the next banner that he throws somebody down. There might be one more combo. I remember I had a little bit of time. I mean, if I popped it now, it definitely would be bad, because if I get thrown down, then I'm going to lose all of my breath. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to help the healer, though. Try to get topped off, which I did. Whenever you take a big hit like that, it's a pretty good opportunity to death strike, because you're going to get a lot of value from it. Alright, it's not me. Nice. Time to parse. Okay. And I've got runes in a second here. We're going to go ahead and pop it. Probably should have waited a little bit longer for some runes, but I want to get this banner down. I don't think the fight's gonna last long enough for me to really care too much. Got some lucky reset procs, so. Yeah, nice. I don't have runes. There we go. Kept up the breath for the whole rest. Yeah, that really helped my damage. 2 minutes left, I think is what I meant to say. I don't think we can actually, I don't know, it's going to be really close. But I don't think we can actually time this. With the roleplay and everything. We are going to have Lust. Sounds like we're lusting on pull, so. I'm gonna save A-bomb for when the ads come up. Don't have breath, so I'm just gonna have to wait and use that later, fortunately. Ooh, I'm not even gonna have, I don't know, it's gonna be really tight. Kind of an unoptimal use for Dragon, but I wanted to make sure I used it on the ads. It didn't line up with anything. I didn't have a Fallen Crusader proc. I didn't have Pillar or anything, but there were actually ads, and that's the best time to use it. So better to take an unoptimal use of Dragon than to use it on a single target. Oh my gosh, 27 seconds left. This is gonna be tight. Oh my gosh. All right, we've got breath going. I'd like this to not get canceled for the whole rest of the fight. That's my goal. Ah, it's gonna get canceled. Okay. It ran out. Ah, so close. This is barely over. Too bad. I think it was that platform wipe, maybe. We had the healer die a couple times in those rooms, and that's really sucked up some time. I think that might have been cost it. That's too bad. Although very good. Oh, we were the best on failure damage. Look at that. I mean, you can't look at that, but I had 60k failure damage. The next person was Thella with 110, and then Sugar with 140, Scarlet with 147, and then Neck with 179. So, yeah. Cool. Good GG. Very close. All right. Thanks for watching.